Purge election year stars Elizabeth Mitchell as Senator Charlie Roan as she runs for office to put an end to the annual purge following the murders of her family on Purge night. However, she becomes a target, and her only line of defense is the Punisher, aka Leo Barnes, as Frank Grillo returns for another round. Now, this movie is coming off of the high that I had with The Purge Anarchy. That movie was everything I wanted the first Purge movie to be. We were out on the streets, feeling the terror, seeing what goes bump in the night, and we also had Frank Grillo as his own version of the Punisher in The Purge Anarchy. So when it came down to the Purge election year, I was really excited coming off of that high, and while I didn't reach the heights of Anarchy, this movie is still pretty darn fun in its own way. Now, what I really enjoy about the Purge movies is that we get to expand the world within every single movie. The first movie was told through the eyes of the rich, the second film was told through the eyes of the poor, and now we are in the eyes of the politicians, and we're watching it for the first time in quite a while. There are things that I really enjoy about this movie, and there are things that really started to grind on my gears. For starters, I think Frank Grillo still kicks so much ass as Leo Barnes, and he was really the highlight of the Purge Anarchy because without him and that character, I don't think that movie would have worked as much as it did, and that is the beneficiary factor about the Purge election year because we are following him yet again, and he still kills it in this role, and he's still absolutely great as Leo Barnes. Elizabeth Mitchell has her side. I really enjoyed her as a senator. She has her ways of winning, and you kind of get behind what she's trying to do because, some people, they don't really take advantage of the purge. A lot of these people just resort to murdering, whereas I would have probably just gone to Best Buy and probably stolen one of the best TVs that they have, something that I would probably never afford in my lifetime. And that is where a lot of the diminishing factors of these movies are, is that these movies are just about people killing people. That kind of shows it in here, where we have people coming from different countries over to the US in order for them to release those angers and start killing people. And I think that is where this movie kind of started getting a little bit more mean spirited than the other movies did. Now, this shows a uglier side of the purge, which I kind of have a fun time with. And while you don't go to these movies for Shakespeare or great writing or great characters, you go into the purge movies just to see people get murdered in the most brutal and bloody ways, and you kind of get that in here. And then you also have this little bitch over here. Now, she is on a killing rampage because she was not able to have her candy bar. Now, I love me a great Reese's peanut butter cup, but really, I'm not going to waste my time on Purge Night killing a store owner because I couldn't have my Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. While some characters are disposable, they're useless, they're there to be cannon fodder, and by the time that we get to the ending, it starts to dip a little bit more. But I still enjoy this movie for what this movie was. It's not as great as The Purge Anarchy, but I still had a small degree of fun. This movie is not great, but still carried on the things that I really enjoyed about The Purge Anarchy, where we are still on the streets, seeing what goes on at Purge Night, seeing how we're going to be surviving. And that's something that I really enjoy about this movie. And then they also try to pull your heartstrings at the end of the movie when the store owner gets killed, and you feel absolutely nothing because you really don't give a shit about any of these characters. But still, I still had a lot of fun. It's not great, but if you want a decent time, you'll enjoy the Purge election year. But those are my thoughts on the Purge election year. Have you guys checked that out? Is this your least favorite film in the series, or is this your favorite? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next review.